truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Guys, Buddy here, and welcome back for another episode of Fallout Talks. In this episode, we're exploring the walking box cavern, which I found out because we're post-commentating this, is pretty much empty, just filled with Night Stalkers. What do you think about the walking box cavern, Marshall?
I agree. I explored it recently. Wait, what part of the map is it in?
It's by Nipton. It's like, I'm pretty sure this is where you find the radiation suits.
Yes. I believe then I've already seen it in my Let's Play. And my opinion of it is pretty much nothing. A whole lot of nothing.
Pretty much nothing. So
there's a lot of caves like that, or just locations that's like, oh shit.
So what are we here to discuss today?
We are here to discuss Moira.
Truly the greatest character in Fallout history.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna talk about her. We're gonna talk about her, what she thinks, what her opinions are, and then we're gonna get an exclusive interview her.
Always start off so slow. It really is so slow.
We're gonna get an exclusive interview from her at the end of this video, asking her what her plans are and if she's gonna be in Fallout 4.
I mean, this joke sucks. Really, it's really bad. It's slow paced. It's not funny, really.
I think it's hilarious. You're just making it bad because you're making comments about it being bad.
Yeah. Okay.
You're just being negative.
Maybe.
If you pretend like it's funny, like all sitcoms, people will laugh.
Yeah. Exactly. It's etiquette. It's true etiquette, really. Yeah. So what are we actually here to discuss today?
We are here to discuss Robert Edwin House. Fun fact, Edwin is my grandfather's middle name.
Great job leading this conversation in the right direction, Marshall. Great job. Well done.
And my father's name is Robert. So I'm going to name my son House. Anyway, true fact. But anyway, where we left off last part, we were talking about...
It was not last part.
Oh, sorry. Yes, where we left off 2 parts ago, we were talking about how basically there's a sort of interesting connection in Robert House's, more his brother Anthony's life. So I'll sort of summarize that. Anthony, who co-owned H&H Tools with Robert House,
until a certain point where he completely took it over.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there was supposed to be more story about that. I'm disappointed that there wasn't. They were supposed to have a whole quest, and the evidence to this is there's a certain quest. It's a very small one that you do with a follower's doctor. As you wait, have you done this in your
Yeah, I've
quest
done this in my quest. It's
Good,
the one
good,
where
good.
you bug a terminal, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You bug the terminal inside the Lucky 38. Well, that originally was when you originally bug it. They were supposed to make it so that once you bugged it, you would find, oh, that doesn't work. Apparently, you need to bug the terminal at the H&H Tool Factory. And so you go there, and there's a bunch of story about that. So but to this day, there's a terminal in there that you can't open.
Yeah, and there's also terminals relating to H&H in the sewers.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's things that like do stuff. I remember there's 2 terminals that allow you to activate like a pumping station, and they do nothing. They just do nothing. You can select them, and it'll do nothing to the world. Like, if you know.
Like half of the terminals in the metro.
Yeah, it's true. But
Turn on power. No, so Anthony, his brother, before he
was crazy. He had like psychological problems, if I remember right.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we're focusing on.
No, you don't want to talk about him in detail.
We're focusing. Well, okay, we can talk about him. Well, I don't know that much about his psychological issues.
What was it? He was very paranoid. He had like a special hat he'd put on to prevent anybody reading his mind when he was at work, and he prohibited access to the roof because towards the end of his days he hated himself for his stealing Robert's inheritance, and he was very suicidal at the end of his days.
Well, he was also extremely,
Triple kill!
oh wow. He was extremely paranoid
Yeah,
about his working staff, and security measures at H&H were notoriously ridiculous. And that's why going in there is sort of dangerous, because even after the war, the security measures still stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I don't think I've been in H&H yet.
in your Let's Play?
Mm-hmm. I probably do that.
Well, we should probably stop talking about it then.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm probably not going to go too deep. If we talk about it now, then I won't have to look too deep.
Okay. We should have went there in this part.
I know. I should have thought. I was mainly exploring like the south because there's a lot of locations down in the south that don't have much meaning, really.
Oh, speaking of great player homes, come on, this is a beach resort, you know?
Yeah. I think I did find. I don't remember.
Can you go in those houses? I forget.
I don't think you can. I think I was looking and I couldn't.
That's too bad. You know, you could easily though create a door and a small space in those in the GEC. Well, for us it'd be sort of moderately difficult, but for a modder it'd be like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, but you could do that and then make that into a pretty nice player home.
I did find like one of the best player homes I've found in a while. It's during this video, so I'll tell you later. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, just remember to mention it when we get there.
This video is filled with hazardous creatures. I eventually get the War Club from Honest Hearts, and I end up taking on Deathclaws and Cazadors with it.
Holy crap!
I can take Cazadors on with it pretty well, but once I get to the Deathclaws, I'm like, oh no.
Oh,
it's just me and Cass for this entire video, so I mean, and Cass eventually runs out of ammo, so yeah, that didn't turn out too well.
So,
yeah, go on.
Anthony, most likely before he went insane, probably when he was younger, he attended oh my god.
Massachusetts.
The Massachusetts, that's how it's pronounced. Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I don't know why I have trouble with that word. It's so common. What's interesting about that
is that Fallout 4.
Dude.
What?
I made a huge mistake.
Why?
I was wrong. It wasn't Anthony that attended MIT.
It was Robert?
It was Robert.
Oh. I mean, that doesn't make a huge difference.
Well, that's even better, in fact.
I don't know, because it limits the cool idea we had about Anthony being...
That was never going to happen. I don't think they would have had two brothers, you know what I mean? That'd be weird. That idea can still happen. Like, maybe he's sitting there like, I never got to go to MIT. Oh, brother, he low. But,
Well, I think in the end he liked his brother. Well, not liked, but he was very remorseful for the way he treated him by the end.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Robert, but Anthony, like, at the end had repentance.
Yeah, so Robert attended the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, otherwise known as MIT. And so the things we speculated last part...
2 parts ago.
2 parts ago, goddamn. Last time I was here, are pretty interesting, because it could mean that, you know, there could very likely be a dorm or some sort of building or facility named after him, and in that facility there could be logs, terminals, and, you know, perhaps a small pile of references and backstory leading...
It could just be his dorm. You could just have his dorm, like, the place
where he stayed.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's a bunch of logs, or there's, like, a hidden room underneath his dorm where he did experiments and stuff.
Well, yeah, because, well, the thing is, many people would have used it after he did. So it's not like his dorm's going to be intact. But
well, wait a minute. How old was he? Yeah, he was quite old when the... Yeah, you're right.
No, yeah. No, many people would have used it. So
those rocks. I don't know what is wrong with with Rex's perk and these rocks, but it's not. As you can see, it's it's not really
you
working.
You can pick those rocks up.
I eventually end up dismissing Rex because of this.
Aw, he didn't mean it.
It's not his fault. Eddie's just better in every way, and I finished Rex's quest now, so I might just execute him.
Oh, holy!
Sometimes you gotta take the dog out back and stick a bullet in his brain.
Oh my god!
Okay, it's better than him suffering, isn't it?
You know what's better than both of those two things?
Yeah.
Leaving him alive.
I give him back to the king.
Yeah, give him back to good old the king.
The king.
Baby.
Yeah. So, Robert House.
Yes.
Securitrons. Sex slaves.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think his things with Securitrons is pretty weird, but at the same time, for New Vegas, it's not that weird.
Really?
Oh, Vegas has some weird. Come on. No, sorry. Sorry. For Fallout, it's not that weird.
Oh, okay.
There have been some weird things.
I mean, Fisto, I don't think is as weird.
Fisto. I think Fisto is more weird.
It's
not like Mr. House is banging they're not his sex slaves.
I mean, that's implied.
That doesn't even. How in hell is that implied?
There's a line with
that he keeps them around because they're pretty and they remind him of these women, but he's not having sex with them. He's a shriveled old man in a capsule.
Yeah, well, not exact sex, but there could be some weird robot thing going on.
No, there's no.
If you talk to the girl, she says, like, mind your own business, and then I think it's either Veronica or Cass talks about the sex slave. The sex slave.
But no. One of them talks about what, I think it was Raul, talks about what happened before the war with those women, but that doesn't mean...
If it's Raul, then it's not the court I'm thinking of, because it's definitely one of the girls. It's either Cass or Veronica, and one of them talks about, literally, like, the sex robots. I'm pretty sure it's during the Fisto quest. You like that little line, one of those dialogues that triggers depending on where you are.
Huh.
So, I think somehow, some way, he has some sort of sex with them. Perhaps they both like link cables, and then it's all in their heads.
Oh God. Makes sense.
The two subconsciouses just go offline and have a virtual world where it happens. It's weird. See now that you know those details, my theories, that's gotta be the weirdest thing. That's just weird. Except maybe for that girl. What's her name again? Trash. She's weird.
The Diary of Trash.
So Robert House.
Robert House.
This is a really slow episode.
I like him like this.
I really don't. I think they're better when there's not as much space. Like that, for example. So I was expecting you to respond.
I like videos.
There's no chemistry here at all.
Plenty of space.
I think that's something people will realize.
No chemistry.
No, none at all. I mean, it's just there are so many like empty silences. It's just.
That's because we're thinking.
I'm not thinking. I'm waiting for your response, and then you don't come in. So clearly, a lack of. Oh, I'm just ending my sentence, and usually that's where you pick up.
No. This is what you do. So, Robert House. And I'm like,
Because I had just like talked for a while, and then I'm like, so back to Robert House, and then I'm thinking you take over and redirect the conversation.
So, Robert House. And I think one of the most interesting things about him is his obsession with the platinum chip, because it is just an upgrade. I mean, do you really think it was worth it?
Yes. Significantly.
I think it's silly that that's the way it had to be done. A software upgrade on a piece of platinum. It seems really stupid. There are so many ways you could do that. It would have been easier.
I don't.
For one, why didn't he just redesign the upgrade? He's a genius.
It's post-war. I mean, he's not got the power that he used to.
Oh, come on.
He's a shriveled old man.
Old brain. He's got tens of thousands of caps flowing into him, an army of robots.
He can't send those robots in. He can't even send the robots into the casinos. I mean, he's got a limited range for his robots that will listen to him, as we see with Victor, who went off by his own volition because he was too far away.
Okay, let's talk about Victor.
Sure.
I don't think Victor ever left Goodsprings.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
I think all those Securitrons you see as you're walking along are just tricks by Mr. House to lure you further closer to New Vegas. You know, because they're not like they're. You know, it's pretty weird that you just see him there. And we know that Victor can be just his AI. Any AI can be placed into any Securitron. The Securitrons are just empty shells. So he can jump back and forth between those bodies. Maybe Victor's AI left, but I don't think that robot ever left. In fact, a lot of times you can see an empty-faced robot in Goodsprings.
Yeah. I think he did. I think because Victor was outside of House's range, Victor wasn't under House's control for most of the game. Once you get close enough to Vegas, because basically for a gameplay standpoint, the actual physical robot does travel around. I'm not sure when. Maybe it's the Goodsprings one, maybe it's the second time you meet him, then he starts traveling around, but the robot does start traveling around after a bit.
Okay, but he was under Mr. House's control.
Not
Mr. House
not in Goodsprings.
purposely told Victor to stand down.
He can send packets at a time. He's not under control. He can send. It's very slow. It's not like the Vegas Securitrons. It's a different thing. He can only send like one instruction every I don't know. I can't even give it a guess. I'm sure it's a couple of days. You know, and I think
I don't know about that.
I think my
you can have a courier walk that faster.
my courier. if you my theory is that the Victor from Goodsprings did follow you around for a certain length of time. But once we get to New Vegas, House takes the AI back into his network, and then that Securitron, I don't know how it does this, but that Securitron goes back to Goodsprings without the Victor AI, and the Victor AI stays in House's network, then in front of the Lucky 38.
Why send the Securitron back?
That's a very good question. One that I don't think I can answer.
Because, what's so important about Goodsprings?
To guard the shack?
In fact, why was Victor even there in the first place?
Well, the two theories are, one, that he was broken and he was out of the network and needed to be patched up, and then the other one is House sent him there to wait for you.
But how would House know?
Because, Benny knew. House was the one who ordered the thing. He knew he was going through. In fact, Yes Man says the way that Benny knew you were going to be there is because he monitored House's transmissions. Maybe Victor's mission was to follow you the entire way, just to make sure you're okay. You're the most important courier.
You know what's interesting? I find it strange that no one in the town had seen you until after you got shot. I find it unlikely the courier didn't hang out in the saloon, or I find it unlikely that he just heads straight there and no one saw him.
I don't think he went up. I think he was ambushed on the road, in the North Road. I'm not sure which one. Is that the 87?
And then they carried him to the
cemetery to bury you.
Cemetery,
yeah.
To the old. As I can't think of who calls it this, but the
Easy Pete.
Yeah, the bone. What do they call it? What do they call it? The bone garden, or?
Not sure. No.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
God damn, this is really bothering me. Well, anyway.
I think this is the place I like. Does it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Never mind.
This place looks really generic.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's actually anything good here, except for maybe
this place looks like
Starcap.
Dave's Town.
Yeah, it's the same with
Dave's Republic.
Yeah, there's a lot of houses like this in New Vegas, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I guess 3, although I can't really think of any except for Dave.
Yeah, I can't really either. But it's common in New Vegas.
It is common. Well, it's far. It looks like a farmhouse to me. Which, New Vegas has a lot more farms than 3.
That's true. One could argue that 3... I think 3 has a farm, at least. No, 3 has a couple farms. Not that ton. Anyway, we're getting off track.
We are. So Robert...
So, House...
his obsession with the platinum ship we were talking about at the time.
Yeah.
And Victor, I guess.
So you think it was worth it?
Yeah, because I mean, I think, like you said, he's a genius. If there was any other way of doing it, I don't think. I think he would have figured it out, and I think also, yeah, I think it's worth it because it does. It does. It's a massive upgrade.
Why build a hardware upgrade without putting the software upgrade in? That doesn't even make sense.
Well, he built the software and the hardware, and he probably he needed to print the chip. I don't know why he needed to print the chip, but he needed he needed to print the chip somewhere else because he didn't have the technology for it. And he could make. I mean, the hardware is simple. The hardware is easy. I mean, I've got that hardware where I'm about to head in my room now. You know, I've got a missile launcher and a grenade launcher here. Like, anyone can get that stuff. That platinum chip is a unique item. It is the only one of its kind, presumably. You know, it's not the same kind of rarity or easy. You know.
Well, the fact that it's made out of platinum is not what makes it important.
No,
it's what's engraved.
Exactly.
On it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's the platinum chip. It's what House needs to do what he does. Just upgrade the Securetrons.
Okay, this is something interesting. He is called. I got lost. Oh yeah. Do you know the two things that Robert House goes by? His two roles. The second one is really weird.
Isn't he like the CEO of New Vegas?
This is according to the Fallout Wiki. Sorry, I should have said that.
Yeah, isn't one of them the CEO or something like that, or COO of New Vegas?
No. Well, you're close.
Okay, I don't know the other one.
Okay, it's the de facto ruler of New Vegas.
Yeah.
And then the other role is the King of Diamonds.
The King. Oh, of course. No, that's from the cards that they gave out with the collector's edition.
Well, the collector's edition cards.
Yeah.
Which I really one of these days want to buy.
Yeah, I want to grab that too. It comes with a platinum chip, so if you want one.
It comes with playing cards. It comes with a platinum chip.
It comes with a bunch of other chips, I think.
In fact, you can get an entire Dead Money poker set.
Interesting. Oh, so from the Sierra Madre deck, you mean? Or is it just a different Dead Money?
No. This is poker chips. An entire case of Sierra Madre poker chips if you want to play poker. I think it comes with a deck as well. But the main thing you're paying for is because chips are kind of expensive.
Yeah, they are quite.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's interesting. If you want Putty to buy the collector's edition and then open it on camera,
donate. That's what I'll say to you. If you want that, give me some money.
Give me money.
Or go watch the entire New Vegas series without ad block on and click on every ad. That'll help slightly.
Every ad?
Every ad. That's what, 100?
Did you know that clicking on ads, if you're with a network, doesn't help you?
Really?
Yeah. Clicking, if you're with AdSense directly...
Not the place to talk about the topic.
Okay, I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay.
So, Mr. House.
Mr. House. Do you not think it was worth it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's a great upgrade, and I think the upgrade itself...
Okay, I'm going to be right back.
What just happened? Okay, I'll just keep talking in case he wants me to. I think the upgrade itself was worth it, but I don't think that the I don't think that was the good way to go about it. Like, I don't know. I know he's smart, and if there was another way, he would. But it just seems like a really weird story. Like, a really what? Are you there, Putty? Anyway, it seems like a really weird story to me. Strange way to get something to acquire power, and so because of that, it annoys me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But I think it was worth it. It definitely makes his Securetrons a lot more formidable with what the rockets and also they can repair themselves. And I think there was even another thing. I don't know if it makes their armor better, but it activates onboard repair systems, so they can basically heal themselves after getting damaged. I've never actually...
I'm back. Hello?
I'm so sorry.
We're not recording.
Oh, we're not? What happened?
Well, we are, but I'm cutting this out.
Oh, okay.
I needed to go deal with something.
What'd you deal with?
Just the door was slamming heavily.
Why was it slamming?
Because the wind was blowing it. But I thought someone was slamming it, trying to get my attention.
Oh. Oh.
Shit, right.
Oh.
Well, it looks like we've gone back to the start of the video, so I guess we're just gonna have to do it without the video now.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll just cut out the bit where I was gone. What were you talking?
Okay.
What were you talking about?
Well, I was saying that I think
It's
the
a good
upgrade, I think it's a great upgrade, because not only does it give them a ton of firepower to defeat those big wasteland baddies, it also gives them an onboard repair kit, meaning if one of his, if an NCR soldier gets damaged, they send him to their shit doctors.
If a Legionnaire gets damaged, they kill themselves.
Yeah, they kill themselves. If a Securitron gets damaged, they repair themselves in the field, and I'm guessing it works pretty well. So I think it's like, oh yeah. Real quick, I know we're talking about House. Can we talk about how incompetent the NCR's doctor is?
Which one?
At Camp Forlorn Hope.
Forlorn Hope. Oh.
Actually,
I like
now
him.
they're on about it, Camp Golf 2.
Who's the doctor at Camp Golf?
I can't think of his name, but the doctor there is pretty incompetent. He has his own tent.
Oh. Well, it's the guy at Forlorn Hope has his own tent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, very similar layouts, the two. But the guy at Camp Forlorn Hope, he can't help these people, and you walk up to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't help them. Do you have any medical experience?" And you have to pass a 20 medicine speech check to say you have that. Meaning,
you can also
he
pass...
has less than 20 medicine.
You can...
Less than 20!
No. You have to pass a 20 medicine speech check to say, yes, I've got some experience in medicine, which is what the 20 medicine is. You've then got to pass, like, 50 or 40 or 50 checks to repair the... Which is what he can't do, so you've probably got, like, 30 to 40.
Yes, but why... Like, you can get around that, though. You don't need the checks.
No, you can, like...
You can just use the supplies, which are laying around the tent.
Not all of them are. I think you need, like, a super stim pack or something. There's one that...
Yeah.
But most of them are, you are right. Like the scissors and tweezers and stuff. But
and he could requisition a stim pack. Well,
not
maybe
a super stim pack.
Ah.
The super stim packs are saved for Oliver. Come on.
Theoretically, a super stim pack is just a stim pack with a strap.
No, that's. I guess theoretically is the right word. But I mean, I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure it's like 5 stim packs.
That doesn't even make sense.
5 stim packs mixed into a different container.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a different... I'm sure it's made differently than just stick a strap on a stim pack.
Mm-hmm.
But... House. Okay.
I'm pretty sure the H&H Tool Company is the oldest out of all the companies he owned.
I assume so. I'm pretty sure
I think because it says that he inherited... it says he was born to a wealthy Nevada tool magnate.
Yeah.
Magnate. So that sort of implies...
I'm pretty sure he did inherit it off his father,
Yeah.
Who may or may not have been called Alexander House. Because there is one of the terminal entries in H&H, I think it is, says Alexander instead of Anthony, which might be a typo or might be a different member of the House family. Fun fact, the more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know. So it's a good upgrade. Did you conclude saying whether you thought it was worth it or not?
I think it's worth it, but my problem is just the way that the story tells how all this shit happens. I don't buy it. Like, it's a really weird, unbelievable story for me. That's just me personally.
What's the...
I like the story. Oh, just how this upgrade and hardware upgrade, how he handled it. It makes no sense.
What, spending thousands on scavengers and couriers and...
No, why put it on that platinum chip in the first place? If it's a software upgrade, just put it on your computer.
Well, he was going to, but he needed it to transfer. And they couldn't...
See, that doesn't make...
They didn't have the internet.
If he made the software upgrade, though?
One second. No, carry on talking, but keep going.
If he made the software upgrade, he doesn't need the internet. It would be on his computer.
The software upgrade must be printed.
And whoa. Obviously, they have some form of wireless link, a network, because he can take control of robots.
Yes, a network, not a...
There's a hive mind.
An internet.
That is all the internet is.
Oh, it's on a much higher scale, though.
I think a hive mind is a higher scale than than the internet.
Look, we don't know how technology advanced. We don't know enough yet.
True. I mean, they didn't invent the microprocessor, but if they can have a network, I think they can have an internet, a wireless network.
The Platinum chip wasn't just the software upgrade, though. The Platinum chip has a lot of quantities, as we find out in something that would be spoilerific to talk about.
What are you talking about? It's just a software upgrade. That's all we know.
I think, like, I don't really want to talk about it in too much detail, but it would be amiss not to discuss the fact that the Platinum chip doesn't just upgrade Securitrons. I mean,
it also...
it's got some other properties, so perhaps the Platinum chip that House created...
It's the thing, I even think those other properties are bullshit. Why lock all this stuff up?
Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
But basically, House created the Platinum chip, which can do a lot of shit, and I think he needed it printed in Sunnyvale. And he needed it to be transported physically, unfortunately. It would have been transported physically anyway, even before the war. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he had... It had to be, it's a chip. But who knows how they would have done it. But after the war, it becomes even more difficult. Sunnydale was probably hit by a... I keep saying Dale. Sunnyvale was probably hit by a bomb. It's probably destroyed. The Platinum chip was probably in a bunch of ruins. A little tiny chip. That's probably why 800,000 caps was spent trying to scavenge it out. Because he doesn't have a body. And his Securitrons can't go that far without him losing most of his control over them. So he probably needs to spend all the money to get it out of there, which that's fair enough. The courier service he only did once, I think, the 5 couriers, but extravaganza that we were involved in. Aside from that, I don't think he ever used any other couriers. And in terms of why did he have to print the chip, why couldn't he just have it on his own network? Maybe he had other uses for the chip, and he thought, well, while I'm making the chip, I'll put the software upgrade on there. He needs to get it to the fort. That's why it needs to be on the chip.
I think, which wasn't the fort at the time.
No, he needs Fortification Hill.
I know. Okay. So, here's an interesting thing I didn't know. Mr. House, when you open his wait, are we there yet in your Let's Play?
What part of it?
Did you, off him?
No.
Oh.
What are you talking? I'm not killing Edwin.
Okay. Well, I won't talk about that. I can still talk about this. Something interesting. Did you know that if you were to, let's say, take someone, and I'm not saying I know anyone in this state, but if you were to take someone who was sealed in a chamber their entire life, and open that chamber,
Completely
they would die
unrelated
within
to the
a year.
topic. Yeah.
What?
Completely unrelated to the topic.
Yeah, completely. They would die within a year of contamination, even if you didn't mercilessly beat them to death with a club.
Yeah. So if we were to wait like an in-game year, some crazy shit might happen to certain people.
And then literally someone just walks up to you and be like, "Oh, how's
Okay, I want to quickly skirt off.
Have we given away enough of the plot?
I don't think we're giving away too much. Let's quickly skirt away from this topic. What else can we talk about with House? What about his plans for the future?
Jesus Christ. His plans. I think he's got very. I mean, you seem to know a lot about his plans. What do you think
it's
about?
Mostly speculation from me, from what the very few things he says, really.
Well, let's hear it.
He's using Vegas and the NCR to some extent, to a massive extent. Vegas is his capitalist melting pot for generating technological advancement. He intends to use the NCR as customers, bringing into, what will end up being a capitalist haven of Vegas. And they will come and they will encourage...
They will come.
They will come. They will come again. And then they will encourage business in Vegas, and Vegas will become a place where businesses will have to compete with each other, and that will bring technological advancement, which eventually, in House's mind, I think, will lead to House advancing into space travel, either through businesses having to compete with each other for space travel, or House taking taxes and using that to invest in scientific discovery of space travel. And then eventually his plans are to find a planet that is habitable by Earth, by humans, that has not been wrecked by the nuclear bombs, and to be able to send the human race to a new planet, much more, we can grow more stuff, where we can a new Earth.
Okay, well, here's science time with Marshall.
Oh god, here's where I can't argue.
Something interesting is, House bought Repcon. Do you think he bought
Definitely.
Repcon for the sole purpose?
Yeah. Okay, so can you finish that explanation, because everybody who doesn't know what I just said yes to will probably...
Yes.
I agree completely with you.
Yeah, take it off.
I agree where you're coming from. Where are you going?
Do you think Repcon bought and wait there? Do you think Repcon? Do you think Robco bought Repcon, i.e., Mr. House bought Repcon for the sole purpose of foreseeing the future and knowing that he wanted to get into space after the nuclear apocalypse?
Well, it definitely backs up his points. The fact that he's been thinking about this for a long time. I mean, I think it's obvious. I think it's got to be right. He was thinking of, look, if I'm gonna...
Because that company was useless otherwise.
Yes, true. Look, they made a really good gun. That with Enclave's help. Actually, they have everyone's help. Yeah.
No, really, it wasn't them.
No, never at all. But with House, I bet he was seeking, look, I don't know, though. Oh, yeah, no, he did know the war was coming. Of course he did. He was protecting Vegas. He knew the war was coming. This was his plan from the start. And, I mean, he could use the technology at Repcon to start this to start this race to space. And in fact, you can look at the Bright followers, and if you believe they were successful, I won't spoil too much about the future of them. If you think they were successful, then perhaps that's a show that Repcon did have some working prototypes, some working technologies there. And I was going somewhere, but I've lost it. Do you have any comments about Repcon?
I think they're really unsafe, and they're horrible at what they do. But especially with their track record. But here's some things about space.
Oh, great.
He can't just say, okay, we're gonna have habitate another planet, because first he needs to come up with a way to terraform a planet so it is habitable, because there are no habitable planets in our solar system.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good point.
Leaving the solar system is not realistic unless he can create a ship that can travel near the speed of light, which I think is beyond him. He would be dead, even with his technology that's keeping me alive. He would die before they could discover that technology. That is so groundbreaking. I don't know if you know what it would basically entail, but it would basically be fusion reactors that are shooting you forward, and there are a bunch of ideas of how.
Basically, it's practically impossible.
It's practically impossible to leave the solar system, get there to another habitable world in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. We're looking at...
think about the idea of the 100, though. What if literally most of humanity lived in space, breeding different generations?
But what would be the point of that, then? I mean, by the time they get there, Earth will probably be very habitable again.
Perhaps, yeah. You're right.
The radiation will probably all be gone by the time long gone by the time they get there.
Doesn't radiation leave permanent damage to the planet, though? Isn't there certain areas that we'll never be able to grow things on?
The planet has had 5 mass extinctions. She's a tough girl. She can take it.
Were they nuclear bomb extinctions?
Do you know what the moon is from?
The moon? It's from space.
But do you know how it got there? You know why we have a moon?
I'm not familiar with the moon's
It
backstory
happened when
now.
a planet roughly the size of Mars hit Earth, incinerated the surface, blew up everything, and then recoalesced into the moon. There were other impacts. When there have been several hundred impacts throughout the history of the planet that were so big that they roasted the entire surface. But we know for a fact that bacteria was evolving throughout this history of complete incineration. Nukes have nothing on these things. Nukes are little play toys compared to these asteroids. So I think the planet will be fine in the long run, as long as humanity can pull through, which at this point, they're on the up, you know?
Yeah, they are.
They're on the up, especially with the NCR, and who knows what other factions throughout Europe and Asia that are rising up to the
New
challenge.
Zealand
of
would have been
reforming.
safe from the apocalypse.
What would you say?
New Zealand would have been completely safe from the apocalypse.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been hit by anything.
Perhaps there's some sort of civilization in
Antarctica?
Greenland or Antarctica. Or some parts of Africa that I guarantee weren't nuked. Like, why would they nuke every part of Africa? Almost guaranteed that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
we don't know. Maybe the South Africans became a major political power in the Fallout universe, and they had most of the nukes.
Well, they are a major political power in this universe.
Oh, okay.
Just not. But what I'm talking about is a lot of countries in Africa, there'd be no reason to nuke them. Like, they're not a threat.
Well, it's not about nuking countries, it's about, like, the afterblast from other countries, right? Like, the two countries around you get nuked, you're in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, but I'm saying... Like,
Most of the... Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, even if you nuked South Africa, Nigeria would be fine, you know?
Yeah.
Or the Congo would be fine. But anyway, enough about nukes. My point is, the science thing is... So what that means is, even if they traveled there in a generation ship, which is what you're talking about...
Yeah.
Like the 100, which is feasible, and the technology's there. That would mean they would get to the nearest star, Alpha Centauri, in like 800,000 years or something.
Ooh.
So I think planet Earth by then will be out of the little rut. So if they were going to habitate another planet, the most viable one would be Mars. Which is possible, but he would have to come up with a way to terraform the surface and breathe oxygen into it and basically re-engage their atmosphere.
Now, how feasible is that type of technology?
Oh, that is much more feasible than, like, you know, traveling to the nearest star.
Most things are, by the sounds of things. But how feasible, like, in comparison to, I don't know, discovering the microprocessor? like without that microprocessor.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, technically they're not close to the same technology. You know, microprocessor is computing. Terraforming.
Wait a sec. Just to explain for anyone who's not like a super Fallout nerd, the main difference between the Fallout universe and this one is that in the Fallout universe they never discovered the microprocessor. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Okay, the microprocessor, which is why you get those terminals which are huge. And those are like the smallest computers.
Russia never became communist, or we just never got angry with them. Yeah. I don't know.
China was the bigger threat.
Yeah, apparently. Well, they became the bigger threat. Who knows? The Cold War might have still happened.
Yeah, maybe.
Theoretically.
I mean, it's 100 years after the Cold War where this nuclear war happened.
Yeah, true. So, anyway, so it's decent. In fact. What are we talking about? In the game's lore, it exists. The Gek.
Of course.
That's what that is. It's a terraforming technology.
Which are they? How many vaults are they in again?
I'm not sure. He just said a select amount of vaults. There is definitely probably.
Wait, there is a Gek. No, there was a Gek in vault, the plant vault. There was one in there.
That's right.
Yeah. So 87 would be, but there's probably one in California somewhere. Oh, there is. Of course there is. There was Vault 15 in Fallout 1. But
not only that, but if OSI starts researching the terraforming properties of Vault 2022, and they don't end up destroying everything, because that's one of the funniest things. If the canon is that the plants kill everything and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, so to explain that for anyone who hasn't watched every episode, Vault 22 is a really, like, what's the word? Wildlife infested vault with lots of plants and
It's like a safari underground.
with evil things. But
Yeah.
and one of the quests in the game is to bring a sample of that research and technology back to the NCR, who have a very corrupt research system, but the NCR have got their hands on some of this terraforming technology.
This is a direct quote. Well, I don't know if it's the exact quote, but we aren't mad vault scientists. We're the government. Show some trust in us. I just every time I hear that line, I crack the fuck up because it's like I trust you less now than ever.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So you're right. The terraforming technology is very much there.
Yeah, it's very much there. Now that terraforming technology has to do with more turning the world green.
Yeah,
there's one more step.
Oxygen.
There needs to be a way to reinvigorate Mars atmosphere. Basically, make it a stronger atmosphere again. Because Mars has 1% of the atmosphere that Earth has. What that means is it's constantly being bombarded by radiation from the sun. So theoretically, technically, there's more radiation on Mars than there is on Earth. Mm-hmm. But that is not the kind of radiation that sticks around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hits the surface and it bounces back off. So if you can get a stronger atmosphere, which from what I know, I haven't researched into the subject that much. I think it's possible, and I think if Mr. House, with all of his resources and brilliance, he could do it.
But
so
I also think the courier, and I'm not going to spoil it too much. I'll talk to you a bit off camera. The courier has access to at some point during the game, perhaps in canon, a much larger field of scientific brains under their control.
That is, no.
But
I just got so like.
So I mean, like, now that we've analyzed this in science terms, this seems relatively possible that we could be inhabiting Mars within 1,000 years.
Oh, I'd say a good timeline would be. Are we talking about modern day or in the game?
In the game.
Yeah, I'd say a good timeline in the game if House took over, because I don't think that the NCR plans on having a space program.
Or I don't think the courier could probably do it.
Yeah, I think if House takes over, then if he did take over, then we could probably have a timeline of 200, 300 years. I mean, probably less though.
It's only been 200 years since the Great War.
Yeah. Well, I think it could. I think it could be even less than that, though. It really all depends on how quickly he can get the technology down, and how quickly he can build a rocket that works well. See, I think that's something that I don't think House is even foreseen. Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Your little robot army is going to keep away the split and divided NCR army, but if the NCR spreads and gets its roots into all of the Pacific coastline, they're going to be really strong. Yeah. They're going to have a bustling population, and I think with that kind of army, with that kind of technology, they could just flatten Vegas if they wanted to,
well, Yeah, but maybe by that point it'd be a thing where they'd lose support at that point because of how much reliance the population of the NCR would have on Vegas by that point.
Yeah, but the Vegas, they would still take Vegas and they would keep it as Vegas, but they would just there'd be NCR taxes instead of House taxes.
Instead of House taxes. I mean, House could, like, if that happens, House could just, like, drop his taxes down to 0 for a couple of years to, like, keep support within the NCR.
And they'd be like, oh no, we're not supporting your war.
Yeah.
All NCR citizens get free drinks on the street.
They just start one-upping each other. I mean, House and NCR are pretty peaceful. And I mean, if the NCR are driven out of the region, I just think they'd be like, there's Legion there, there's House there, there's Brotherhood there. There's no point. It's just leave Nevada alone. Why are we bothering?
Yeah, it's just
Hoover Dam.
Stupid damn.
Hoover Dam's pretty important, I agree. But I think by that point, if they keep Helios 1 and they get it fully operational, I don't think they need the dam. Because if they have the technology from Helios and they replicate it out west and have it in every great town in the NCR, I think I think they'll have more than enough energy.
It's easily replicatable. More science talk. Would you like me to discuss how that technology works?
Yeah, we got time. Go.
It's incredibly simple.
Go for it.
Like it doesn't work like the solar panels most of you probably think about, where it just sort of turns electrons from the sun. It transfers the sun's energy into electrons. I'm not going to describe how that works because I don't really know. The way those solar panels work at Helios, which by the way is a real thing in Nevada. I've seen pictures.
Yeah,
of
I think I have to. Yeah.
And it's a great place to put something like that because it's so damn hot.
Is Archimedes real? Is
What?
Archimedes real?
I don't know. I don't know how Archimedes works. It's such a weird. It's just a space laser.
Well, all of the energy that is directed towards the Helios main panel is reflected towards the target.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Anyway, so yeah, basically how it works is all those reflector panels reflect sunlight into the collection tower, which the collection tower, all it is a big tank of water. So the tank of water heats up, very hot, it boils, and the steam, most engines, by the way, most power plants run on steam. Yeah. We're a steam-run nation, whether we want to think we're more advanced than that.
Not even nation, most of the world. Yeah.
That's what I meant.
mean, any fossil fuel is built just the way it creates power is by steam, right?
Yeah, exactly. The fossil fuel burns and turns an engine, and a turbine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this so the steam turns this turbine, which generates mechanical energy, which is then transferred into electrical energy, and so that's how the solar collector plant works. It's so simple that the NCR, like you said, could easily replicate that 1,000 times over as long as they have the raw materials.
So
it doesn't require a big science team for the most part. It's a very simple technology.
They have a big science team anyway.
And yeah, they have it. So even if they wanted to do the hard version of solar panels, they probably could.
So I genuinely believe that if the NCR are driven from Nevada, and they think to themselves, well, I mean, we've got such a decent energy provision here at Helios. Let's try and replicate it and increase it and work on it. I think by the time they're ready to take Nevada again, they'll just say that's not worth it. It's not going back on the war that is clearly crippling them. Even if it maybe it's because they're fighting a two-front war, they might still be by then. Baja doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon.
Oh god, yeah, every time I think about Baja, I just imagine this really badass, just constant death, just people dying left and right, tribals being slaughtered, rangers being slaughtered, troopers running for their lives, their guns thrown on the ground.
It's probably not like that at all. It probably is like trench warfare where they just don't come out of the trenches. They're all just like sitting in there, scared.
It's like... And then every once in a while there's a crazy general who's like, I can't take this, we're gonna charge, and they're like, what? We're gonna get slaughtered. No, not if you run fast. That armor boy was paid for a reason. It blocks bullets.
Exactly.
And they all run out, and like one guy makes it to the other trenches and kills all of them.
So I think the NCR, by the time they're ready, will have different power solutions. Who knows what's up north as well? There could be another. Is there any other dams in that geography of the U.S. similar to Hoover?
There aren't any other dams. Okay. Building a dam is incredibly expensive.
The NCR has the money. God damn it! They can just build one further down the Colorado.
just be a dick and ruin the Hoover Dam. Make it useless. They're like, sir, no more water is flowing through the Hoover Dam. Vegas is running out of power.
How is that happening?
That's the best idea ever.
The NCR just made like a beaver dam to stop it running down like a bunch of just wood.
Yeah, they're not even using it. They're just like, keep piling the wood, Ben.
Exactly. I mean, House has an agreement with the NCR now. I'm not sure whether it would be the same once they're driven. That give them a bit of power. I imagine he'll just keep it all for himself. But Vegas doesn't need all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't.
So I mean,
unless now, here's something interesting that I think surprises me that House hasn't tried to do yet: expand Vegas, expand the Strip. There's so much more that he could
help those poor people in Freeside.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm sure there are more casinos than 4 that survive.
Atomic Wrangler.
Let's not get started.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but like going back to the NCR thing. Sorry, but if you think about it, who's he actually going to send into space? It's got to be NCR citizens, right?
Monkeys.
Well, in terms of humans, like it's going to be the NCR citizens, right? So he's got to be on good terms with them. I think that his plan involves being on good terms.
I think he'll have his own citizens that he could send. New Vegas will have people living there, and
Yeah.
they will be New Vegas citizens.
True.
And they won't probably have many taxes, because he'll make all his money on the Strip, and he won't need to tax
But
the
he'll
civilians.
probably want people to pay for the space adventures. He might have holidays, who knows? And he'll probably want people who have money, and those people probably don't live in New Vegas, for the most part.
To pay for them?
I think at some point he'll have like leisure trips into space at some point. Before he can inhabit.
Maybe I shouldn't talk about science again.
Yeah, why don't I just take that point back and we move on?
I was about to start.
What topic were you transitioning into before I interrupted?
I don't remember at all.
Oh, expanding Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah.
He should have definitely, dusted off the cobwebs, and if he has that new army, that new shiny army, or what army? If he theoretically, if he had an army, he does.
Do you mean the army of Securitrons?
Yeah.
He's got a pretty big army.
Yeah. The one with the machine guns. If he used them to push further into the Vegas ruins, and they dusted off the cobwebs, you could make Vegas even bigger, and it would attract even more people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at just outside McCarran. Well, first off, start with McCarran. I mean, there's a lot of space there. Just outside McCarran, you've got all those hotels. I mean, it's
also implied that New Vegas isn't really thought of very highly outside of it. It's implied by one person mainly, and that is I can't think of his name, but he's running away from a casino boss from New Reno. You know what I'm referring to?
I know who you're on about. It's he's the guy you get to work with.
The talent scout.
Yeah, and he's running away from Mr. Bischoff.
Yeah, is he in the Fallout 2?
Mr. Bischoff is, I believe. Oh no, he's the Bischoff child. He's the son of one of the Bischoff families, I think. But if you keep going, it's Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop.
Yeah. So he sings at the Shark Club, and so
okay, it's Bruce Isaac. Sorry, Bruce Isaac is the man you're on about.
Yes. So when you offer him this awesome job at the tops,
yeah,
it's
the tops.
He's like, oh, it's no Shark Club. I'm like,
also, Aces and Eights. So what's the actual place called again? Is it Aces and Eights?
Aces Theater.
Aces Theater. What? I think I'm thinking of something weird. The Aces Theater is like one of the biggest attractions in Vegas, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but if there are Gamora people, and there are Ultralux people, and then there are the Tops people, and I'm a Tops person. I do not want to mess with those other two casinos, because you either get AIDS or you eat someone, and it doesn't. I
think I'm the only one who, out of all the casinos, in terms of just feel and vibe, I prefer being in Gamora.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Ultralux.
Oh no, the Ultralux is way too posh. But Gamora, I like the fire everywhere.
The Ultralux is way too white.
Yeah,
white. Yeah. Everything's white in there. It's annoying.
It's really like posh. I don't know if you have that saying over there, but
yeah, no, I've heard the word.
It's really like it just makes me feel horror. It's like these.
It's really upper class.
Yes, I don't like upper class people.
And the Gamora is about as low class as well.
I like the fire, the orange.
Short of the Vicky and Vance Casino.
I like the orange theme. I like the cards. I think their deck is definitely the best. And if you can get,
I love the hookers.
If you can get past the strippers dancing in cages, then it's a pretty good place. I think it's good. I like the feel, the design of it.
I think they should teach their strippers how to sing and dance.
Yeah, they should have a show going on. They have a pretty cool stage.
Yeah, they have a great stage. Better than the Aces Theater stage. So
Yeah,
they
it's
should
bigger.
definitely capitalize.
It's
bigger.
It's better than the Atomic Wrangler
It's
stage.
got a curtain. It's very nice. It's got poles for the acts.
I like the Aces Theater has a really I like that it's small. It's cozy. It has like an exclusive
It is cozy.
feel.
It's like a coffee shop almost.
It's great. I like the Aces Theater.
It's got that little bartender there. He's he
Yes.
got that guy. He's wiping down the bar. He's like, what can I
I think
do
you can
here?"
make a good player home.
Did you just say I think he can make a good player?
Yeah, I mean,
like inside of
he
it?
ties the room together.
Oh yeah, that's a good player home.
No beds, but I mean, you could probably put one in there in the
No
gag.
beds, very little storage. But hey, there's constant entertainment when you're there, you know. So, I was gonna say that, yeah. I mean, the tops is the tops. I love the tops.
I like the tops too. I agree.
It's got a great casino. It's got a good vibe. All the employees there, even though they're kind of badasses and they'll shoot you if you fuck with them, they're really cool if you don't fuck with them. Like they're chill.
Yeah.
Like they're classy.
They're classy.
And then
but not too posh.
you know, hey, it's the tops. And then
It's run by Matthew Perry.
You know, their suites are nice.
Yeah.
Their suites are sort of comfortable. They're comfy. They got great. They got a 70s.
They have
vibe.
a robot
That's what the
hidden in
vibe
them.
is. You get that vibe, a 70s vibe, 1970s vibe.
I wasn't around.
Anyway, so yeah, it's got the Aces Theater. It's got probably one of the best restaurants in Vegas. You know, obviously they talk about the Ultralux's restaurant, but
God damn those censors, man. God damn them.
yeah. 8-Byte.
Damn 8-Byte, man.
They censor us.
So, well...
What's funny is Sean was totally cool
Yeah.
with that. He's like, oh yeah.
If you're wondering what we're referring to, go check out Marshall's channel. I have a birthday special where I ask him some hard-hitting questions, and not all of them were
No, wait.
approved.
Part one is light questions.
Yeah.
Very just, birthday stuff. Like, what are your goals? And then part 2 is like, what the hell were you doing in that room? And why did you have blood on your hands? Why?
There's more talk about the sex scandal of 2013, which I think your viewers know more about than mine. Which is interesting.
Isn't that weird?
That is
that
weird.
They will?
I don't think I've ever talked about it in the video, on my channel, which is weird.
My viewers know so much about the sex scandal.
You guys should know as much as Marshall's viewers. Why don't you go over there and subscribe?
Yeah. There you go. And you can be we're thinking about making this a permanent union, marrying our channels together.
If they've made it 1 hour and 3 minutes in, I think they've already subscribed. Anyways, so we're going to probably end up wrapping the video down a bit. We've talked a lot about Vegas, which is fine because it's completely related to House. But is there anything specifically about the man himself you want to cover before we move on to random shit to finish the video off?
I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
We've really discussed his space travel plans in general. Just to sum it all up in a definitive answer, do you think his space travel plans are plausible?
I think they're plausible. I don't understand why he wants to do it.
It's a fair point, because if you think about it, if you sent the best of people out on a space station for God knows how many years, they'd live comfortable, cushy lives, wait for Earth to recover, and then come back. There's also the craters, though. We have a lot of craters.
I don't think you need to send anyone away. Like, Vegas is fine. It's not radioactive. They've got clean water. Why? Why?
I think it's a culture problem. Because right now, the culture there is very much like... There's no raiders on Mars, you know? There's...
You know something interesting about... a real quick thing about real life I just heard?
Go ahead.
It's been going on for a few years now, and it's actually a huge problem. The drying up of the American Southwest. Lake Mead is running dry.
Yeah.
It has been. It's never been this low in the entire recorded history of it.
Well,
so
I mean,
maybe
before those,
Vegas won't reach 2077.
Before those dry lakes that are around that area were not dry lakes. So I mean, it's just a global warming thing, surely, right?
Those lakes weren't dry because people. Well, I don't know how those lakes became dry. It doesn't have to do with global warming. It's people drinking all the water.
Drinking all of the water out of a lake. Drinking faster than it...
Yes.
I guess you don't have that much rain.
It's not just drinking. Well, the Southwest does.
That's what I'm saying.
Where I live, it's constant rain. In fact, right now there's a thunderstorm. And if you go a little bit north of the Southwest, you're in Seattle. Constant rain. But that area...
Wait, a little bit north of the Southwest is Seattle. Oh, Seattle, Washington. Yeah, now I know where it is.
Sorry, what I meant was California.
Yeah, I know it.
North of California.
I for some reason I thought Seattle was near Chicago for some reason, but no, it's Washington.
Chicago, lots of rain.
Yeah. I know.
So what I was gonna also they have we have in that area the largest source, almost the largest in the world source of clean drinking water above ground. The 5 Great Lakes.
So enough bragging about real life.
It's just amazing.
God.
No, but the problem is they're not just drinking it. Vegas is a huge city. They have they live an excess life. It's not a life. People who go to Vegas do not go there to save the environment.
You pretty much you go there for a couple of days. You don't really go there to live.
You burn through everything. You know, it's a very consumer culture. Yeah. They for example, they have gigantic. There's an enormous amount of golf courses in Vegas. Do you know how much water in the hot Southwest dry heat you need to keep up a golf course?
I'm sure a lot.
A lot of water. So they're putting all this water in, and they're not getting much back in the rain. So it's not like they're just drinking.
Why don't you just get some transport links from Chicago, man? Stimulate the Chicago economy a little bit.
Yeah, we just truck water.
Just truck water. It'll evaporate before it gets there.
Truckers, yeah. We'll put ice in.
Yeah. The ice will melt.
Keep it cool.
You might as well just send them ice.
Yeah, so I think it's very, and not only that, Los Angeles is, they predict all the cities there, major cities, Los Angeles, I don't know about San Diego, definitely Las Vegas, will dry up in the next 100 years, easily.
Vegas drying up, obviously. You've never had a Vegas prostitute. Bing!
Jesus Christ. Why'd you say Bing?
I don't know.
Search that on Bing, guys. Anyway,
yes, do that.
So I think we're ready to wrap this up.
Well, we've got time. We've got 8...
No, I'm ready to wrap this up.
We've got 8 minutes, though.
Oh,
I was...
What do you want to talk about?
The fact that I do think Mars is a better opportunity than staying on Earth if you can terraform it and get it all inhabitable, because there are no raiders presumably on Mars. You know, do you know anything about life on Mars? Not the TV show.
There's no life on Mars.
There's no life on Mars, so there's no creatures, no death claws, no Cazadors.
Whoa. Sorry. I just made a scientific assumption.
Okay.
There could be microbes, but there's not like things
Sentient.
walking around.
Sentient. Yeah. So there's no death claws, there's no Cazadors, there's no even mole rats will be problems for civilians. Come on. There's no
Well, I think we'll have some stowaway mole rats at the very least.
But they won't.
I mean, you'll have a lot of.
Hopefully, no stowaway death claws and Cazadors, though.
It'll be so funny. Like,
a Fallout.
Just walking around and there's a bunch of just mole rats and rat roaches running around the ship.
Can you imagine a Fallout DLC where you're up on the ship that's heading to Mars and suddenly the lights go out and there's Cazadors on board?
Oh, or I couldn't imagine Cazadors wanting to get on board because it's so, you know, they like open
Spore
spaces.
carriers.
But that would be good because, you know, they would spread throughout the entire ship. Like it's one thing if it was a death claw because, you know, it's like
just kill everyone.
Yeah, just but a spore carrier infection because there's nothing you can do. The trip to Mars would take months. So
see, now we're coming with DLC ideas rather than theories. But like one thing I want to mention is House, for the most part. I mean, he's not doing this out of selfish reasons when you think about it. Like, what does he really stand to gain him? What does he... He's only doing it if you talk about selfish reasons.
He loves Vegas.
Yeah, one, it's a passion project, but two, I think the only selfish motives he can have, the only selfish motives he could have is to make himself, one, a deity, or two, to have his own, like, self-satisfaction of getting humanity to Mars.
Well, he's definitely a little bit of a narcissist.
Oh, definitely. Like, proving that he's the best because he saved humanity. Like, that would be a motivation for him. But in the end, like, even if that is his motivation, no, I don't think any bad could come from House having
It's like everyone's like, oh, we hate him because he saved us, and he shows off about it all the time.
I mean, I'm still, like, for anybody watching the LP who's interested to know, I still don't know what ending I'm going for. There's only one ending that I'm not doing, and I think you can guess that by like 3 parts ago, when I ran into the fort and murdered Kaisar. So probably not doing the Legion ending. But aside from that, I'm still pretty undecided.
I thought you were gonna say you're not doing the Boomers ending.
Oh, I'm not doing that one either. And also not doing the Father Elijah ending because I missed my opportunity.
Oh yeah, or the Mole Rat ending.
Or the this isn't a spoiler really. Or the Toaster ending.
Yes. Well, that's not a spoiler. It's just gonna intrigue them so much when we tell you that some of the like I was bullshitting with the Mole Rat. The Toaster ending is a legitimate.
Yeah,
ending.
I'm pretty sure there is in-game files to show that there was originally planned to be an alternate ending involving a toaster. So we're leaving.
Involving a toaster, and there are sort of end cards
there are.
having to do with the toaster. So you will see those at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe you won't.
Probably.
I don't know. You know, maybe Putty doesn't like to show
Probably
that.
not. I didn't show the Elijah ending. I really should.
It's pretty
It
good.
is good. I do like it. But anyway, back to my point. I think with House, I'm not seeing much wrong. I've talked myself into trusting him. I didn't at the start, but like
You're just the perfect citizen of Vegas.
I mean, he's a narcissist. He has complete control, and Freeside is suffering hugely. That's a massive problem. House doesn't care.
Yeah. Freeside is just a slum that keeps Vegas safe.
Yeah, I mean, like, House cares about progress, but he doesn't care how much of humanity is really saved. He just cares that it's humanity.
Which, in a
Is a
way,
problem.
makes him very similar to the Brotherhood.
Yeah, that's true.
He has more in similar to the Brotherhood than he thinks. Which is interesting because he wants to
Sorry. Yeah, it's fine.
do something
It's
bad
fine.
to them.
It's fine. We won't be.
Oh, it's
we
fine
won't
to
be
say
getting
that?
that far enough into his quest line. I think to actually.
So I can say
Yeah,
that.
he wants to destroy the Brotherhood.
So he wants the Brotherhood destroyed. He is almost sure from his calculations. You know, he apparently needs to put things on ships, but he can like calculate infinite futures in his head. I'm sorry, that annoys me so much. In his calculations, he has figured out that the Brotherhood will almost surely lead to Vegas's destruction if left unchecked. Checked. Or at least his destruction.
Interesting.
Right? Am I not right?
What about what he says?
He says
Yeah,
that,
no, that's
correct?
no, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're right on that one.
What's interesting?
It's interesting that he thinks that. I'm trying to theorize about it, but I mean, we don't have time now. It's unfortunate.
You got me all in a rant, and then you're like, oh.
Well,
Talk
you
about
wanted to wrap
yourself.
the video up 5 minutes ago, so.
Exactly. And then you bring me out of my shell. You bring me out of my shell. It all starts. You unzip me. It all came out. And now you want to zip me back
If
up.
anyone wants this to become a permanent series, leave in the comments, and we'll consider changing the podcast into Fallout Talks.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because there's so much shit we could talk about, isn't there? I mean, we do this on a regular basis, just not recording it.
I think we should consider, if we do the Fallout Talks, we should consider using cameras for it.
I will never show my face for an hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why?
No, that's not something I'm interested in. Maybe gameplay.
Maybe your viewers will ask for it, and then you have to.
That's not true at all.
Oh, I hate you guys.
I'll read every comment. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please check the description, because there's a man in the description. I put Reese's channel down there, so if you...
That sounds so creepy.
Yeah, I put Reese's channel link in the description. Go subscribe to him. He was the one on this video with me.
Reese.
Yeah. Reese.
That's Dawsy boy.
No, Event Horizon X, which is... Go on, you've got 2 minutes. Sell yourself.
Okay,
Well, a
guys.
minute and a half, sorry.
As I said at the beginning of the video, my name is Marshall, and this is the Event Horizon
Really
X.
not.
Well, not really. Well, yes, in a way. This, as in me, is the Event Horizon X. You'll often notice that I use pronouns in a way that most people do not. So we, at the Event Horizon X, love to produce content for you. Some of this content right now is a Fallout New Vegas Let's Play. Very similar to what Putty is doing, except it's wired differently, I'd say. So you know, there's definitely a lot of different commentary, and we do things in a different way and a different style. So something going on at one point in Putty's Let's Play will be going on at a totally different time in mine, and a different order, and maybe in a different. You know what I mean?
In a different way.
different in a different way, a different order, and just everything about it's going to be different. So watching both Let's Plays is not doing the same thing
He
twice.
knows what ending he's going for, so he's way more organized than me, apparently.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but you know what.
I just fell into this Let's Play, basically.
Yeah, but I think from the start you knew what ending you were going for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I had actually at the start I thought I was going for House, but then I changed my mind, and now I'm undecided. So, if you enjoyed, please leave a thumbs up.
Oh wait, I'm not done.
Yes, you are.
Oh.
Yeah, you are. Sorry, I'm not sure how much footage we have exactly, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Got 3
Anyway,
words to describe
just
your
check
channel.
it out. Excellent cat
Greasy.
pics.
Oh, okay. Please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, I read everyone. This has been an hour and almost 20 minutes of talking. You better appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.